We've covered quite a bit in a short amount of time. Now I want to talk to you about handling, ball handling, your hands on the basketball. You want the basketball to be comfortable in your hands when you're holding it prior to shooting it. You don't want to have to fidget with it or turn it over or do a lot of stuff with it because practically you really won't have time. A lot of times defense will be tight. You're coming off of a screen, so you're going to have to get the ball in your hands, get ready to shoot. The first thing I teach when I'm teaching shooting is how to hold the basketball. And not only how to do it, why to do it this way. When I put my hands on the basketball, I always put my right hand to the outside of the basketball. Outside right of it. Not all the way out here, but slightly to the side. I never put my hand in the middle of the basketball. Some people, and this is just your preference, some people like to put their finger on the hole where you air it up, put it there and put their hand in the middle of the basketball. I don't like to do that. And the reason is, if I shoot it right, if I put it here, it's going to leave my hand a different way. Okay? It may go to the right, it may go straight. But I can honestly tell you that in order for my shot to go straight every time, when I put my hand to the outside right of it, if the ball is here, I'm shooting here. If the ball is here, I'm shooting here. Okay? I don't want my hand over here. I want my hand here. So that's why I put my hand to the outside right of it so that I can shoot it that way. Now, your offhand is a problem for a lot of people. Offhand gets in the way, or they just snatch it down when they shoot the shot. I've seen people do this and shoot with one hand. You need to keep both hands on the basketball throughout the shot. Easiest way to do it is to just be practical about it. I've got my right hand on the slightly to the right on the back of the basketball. My offhand is going to be slightly to the front of the basketball. There's a reason for it. Okay? There's a reason for it. Because now the ball is firmly in my hands. I can bring the basketball up, but watch what happens to my offhand now. It's out of the way. So I can shoot right past it. Slightly in front, here, elbows forward, shoot right past it. Sometimes I will slightly grip the basketball with my offhand just to make sure it stays in place off the catch. Okay? Once I catch the ball, I slightly grip it. But as I bring the ball up, once I get to this point, because this is my release point right here, my elbow's pointed forward, I just relax this hand. I keep it up here so the ball doesn't fall out of my hand because you may be off balance when you come off the shot, especially when you're coming off of the screen and maybe you're going curling to the right, curling to the left. Your momentum is going to be taking you in one direction, and you don't want that basketball to fall out of your hand when you come to a complete stop, go into your shot. So that's why I just slightly grip it, not real hard, but just slightly grip it with my offhand. And like I said, my fingers are slightly to the front of the basketball. You can see that. But once I bring the basketball up, all of a sudden, the hand that's in front of the basketball is now it's out of the way. So I just relax that hand, shoot off of it. Okay? Another thing that gives people problems when they shoot the basketball is they put their palm on the basketball. When they shoot it, they got their palm on it. And they don't really have all that much control because they're shooting off the palm of their hand. And depending on how your palm is facing, that's where the ball is going to go. The best way to have the maximum amount of control on your shot, on your rotation of your basketball, is you shoot with your fingers. Especially, not the tips, but right here on your fingers. Easy way to do that, easy way to achieve that is to do this. Put your palm on the basketball, right? And then what I do is I just grip it just a little bit until I get a little bit of clearance where I can stick my finger in there just like that. Okay? You don't want it to be that much. Okay? You don't want that much. You want just enough to where now the base of my fingers are sitting on the basketball. Now I have more control over my spin on the basketball. I want my fingers slightly spread. I don't want them together, okay, because I need as much control over the basketball as I can. So I'm going to spread my fingers. I'm not going to force it out because that's uncomfortable. I'm going to just spread my fingers comfortably, hands on the basketball. That's why when you catch the basketball, you catch it like this. You don't want to catch it like this, because now you got to catch it and do all these things with it. Catch the basketball, fingers are already spread. Now I can just go right into my shot. Even if it's low, fingers spread, I can go right into my shot. So let's go back and look at the things that we talked about as far as controlling the basketball and handling the basketball. And this is my preference only. It's up to you how you want to hold the basketball. But what works well for me may not work for you. But what has worked for me for years is putting my right hand, and if you're left-handed, it'll be the same thing, just doing it with your left hand. I put my right hand slightly to the right side of the basketball. Behind it, yes, okay, behind it, or just right on top of it. It'll be behind it when I bring my elbow up. So right on top of the basketball, my right hand is to the right side of the basketball. My offhand, which is my guide hand, is slightly to the front of the basketball. I do that with fingers spread comfortably. When I bring the basketball up, now my offhand is out of the way. I relax it, shoot right through it. As far as your fingers go, to have more control over the basketball, to really get a nice touch on that basketball, you don't want to put your palm on the basketball. What you want to do is bring those fingers in just a little bit to where you can get just a little bit of opening right there, just a little bit of space. You don't want to be able to stick your finger right under your hand like that, because that's too much. Just here, okay? Once you get used to that, instead of catching the basketball like this, you'll wind up developing your own little touch so that when you catch the basketball, you're ready to go. You need to have everything in order when you catch the basketball, because like I said, you're not going to have an eternity to shoot the basketball. The great thing about coming out and practicing and working on your shot is you have that time. You can slow down and get everything right. You can look down, you can check your hands and all of that stuff. But eventually, you're going to have to get to a point where you're doing things at game speed, because when you're in a basketball game, they don't play the game at practice speed. They play the game at game speed.